the energy you showed.
No comment. Next question.
How do you think the defense?
No comment. Next question. Any other questions? No comment. Next question. Any other questions? No comment. Any other questions? No comment. Any other questions? No comment. Any other questions?
What was the general?
No comment. Any other questions? Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate y'all very much.
Greg Hardy not in the mood to speak to the media after he had a physical confrontation with special teams coach Rich Bisaccia and berated teammates following a 100-yard kickoff return to the Giants. Midway through the fourth quarter, Des Bryant tried to calm Hardy down, but he wanted no part of it, exchanging words with Des. Eric Allen is still with us. Eric, how should Jerry Jones deal with Hardy?
He better nip this in the bud quickly. Okay, this is not positive. This is not something. We've seen this before on the Dallas Cowboys sideline with Des Bryant. But Des and, like my old good buddy, Michael Irvin, they were always encouraging, never pointing fingers, always encouraging, always trying to get guys, hey, you know what, give it to me, I'll take over. This doesn't seem that way. Coming off suspension, not wanting to talk to the media when it's not perfect for you after a loss, things like that, when it's difficult. These are the things that he needs to change to show his coaching staff, his owner, that he has matured and understands what position he's in and the great opportunity that he has playing in this game in the National Football League. On the sideline, not good. You can't have everyone pointing fingers. Okay, you have to have one guy who's going to encourage guys. You got to have one guy who's going to be after the guys in a positive tone. This doesn't look positive to me. And first of all, you can't go after a coach. Okay, that's way out of bounds. So I'm not in line with this. And I understand people are like, it happens all the time on sidelines. On losing teams, it happens. On championship football teams, it doesn't happen. And that's the difference. I understand. There's some squabbles in your face. Hey, you didn't get over top with the safety and corner situation. But it's squash. You never go after a coach. And most of the time, when you see championship teams, it's always positive. What you got over there?
Hold on, Eric. Hold on, Eric. You know how in a Tom Cruise movie you had me at hello? Yeah. You had me until you brought up championships, winning teams. I mean, why are we even talking about this? Clearly, I mean, we shouldn't be talking about the Cowboys if you're bringing up championships. There's nothing championships about this team.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, once again, 20 years. 20 years. I thank you for highlighting that. So, listen, I am happy to discuss this subject. Please don't get me wrong, but you just threw me off when you said this doesn't happen with championship teams. Well, damn it, we ain't talking about a championship team. We talking about the Cowboys. You understand what I'm saying? This is not a championship team. This is not a championship team that we're talking about. So let's get that out of the way. Now, in all seriousness, I will say this. Greg Hardy doing a poor imitation of Marshawn Lynch does not work. Let me look into the cameras and look at a Greg Hardy or a Marshawn Lynch or somebody like that. Skip Bayless, how do you like this? You look at them and you tell the reporters, look, I ain't in no damn mood today. I'm ticked off and I'm afraid of what I'm going to say. I mean, no disrespect to y'all. I know y'all got a job to do. But I can't do this right now. Period. As opposed to standing up and any questions? No comment. Any questions? No comment. Really? You know, that's your problem. You understand? You can simply sit up there and acknowledge, look, this ain't a good time. I know it's my job. I know I'm supposed to talk after the games, but I'm so ticked off right now, I'm afraid of what I'm going to say. So I ain't going to do it. There isn't a human being alive in or outside the fourth estate, which is the media, that can't understand that. The fact that these guys just are they're so easily ruffled to the point where they're devoid of any kind of composure is not a good thing. In Hardy's case, albeit understandable to some degree, not the slapping of the clipboard or putting your hands on anybody, but in terms of him getting in the face of the special teams, it's certainly plausible and understandable in that regard, that in a sport of football with high emotions and what have you, when you're looking at guys who gave lackadaisical effort, how you could have a temper tantrum. Can't do it for him because of his checkered past. but it's understandable for the most part.
By the way, before I answer, I must quickly point out to Stephen A. Smith that Jerry Jones has 5 Super Bowl trophies in his office. 5. 3 that were won on his watch. Now, on to the next.
How does he have the other 2?
Well, they came from Tom Landry's regime, you know, obviously.
So
okay, that's 5. Okay. So you say they're not a championship team.
He's got 3.
It's a championship franchise. 3. It's one of the great franchises in the history of sports. America's team. Okay.
You know what I would like you to do,
this question. I don't want.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want you to get a picture of you and I, Skip, from 20 years ago. That's how long ago it was. Get a picture of Skip Bayless from 20 years ago. Get a picture of Stephen A. from 20 years ago. Of Molly from 20 years ago, and you'll see how long ago it was. Yeah. It's a long time ago, Skip. Long time ago. Long time ago.
Now to a not so amusing situation here. I still don't have a huge problem with what Greg Hardy did. It was the when he did it. I don't have a problem. Remember what had just happened. Somehow Matt Castle had scrambled to his right and made the throw of the night, followed by the catch of the night by Devin Street tiptoeing at the edge of the end zone. Okay, it's 20-20. Wow, we're back in the game. Yeah. And the special teams, the kickoff coverage teams go right out and just give it right back with lack of effort. I called that your UConn kid. I'm not going to do it this time. I'm going to let it go. But there's lack of effort everywhere. And you played some coverage teams, and it's just you have to want to tackle the guy who's running with the football. Yeah. They appeared not to want to. So Greg Hardy goes out and has to play on the point after team as the Giants kick the extra point. As he comes back, there's a huddle away from the sideline featuring the kickoff team, the kickoff return team, the Cowboys team. And Coach Bisaccia is in the middle of it. He's the assistant head coach of the team. And he's like, get out of my huddle. We're trying to decide how we're going to return this kick. You're disrupting the diagramming of the play, right? I mean, you cannot do it. But I would not have had a problem if later Greg Hardy would have gone one by one down the bench and said, I got to see more effort from you. That's leadership to me. I'm okay with that, you know. But again, then Dez tried to get in the middle of it just to say, come on, man, what are you doing? You know, you went over the edge. And a lot of people are going to project, because of his domestic violence issues back in Carolina, the cycle we saw in going into the huddle. We're going to project that onto what happened, you know, allegedly.
He's out of control.
He looks out of control. And I get all that. But again, it could have been positively channeled if you just do it at the right time around the bench area.
I agree with that. Okay. I agree with that. I don't agree with after the game not stepping up. If this is a regular season game,
that's fine.
It's not the Super Bowl.
I did point out that the Dallas Morning News said that Tony Romo went over to him at his locker right after the game, and I don't know what he said, but I assume he said, don't make it worse with the media. Don't dig your hole deeper. And I don't think Greg Hardy knows how to deal with that except just to say, no comment. I'm not going to say, but Stephen A. made a good point. You gave the primer on how to do that. That's why it's good. You could have taught him. I know you counsel some of these teams on how to deal with us, and that would have helped if you would have counseled Greg Hardy before he spoke to the media.
Should have been.
I think I could help him.
Yes, you could.
He'd never receive it, but I think I could help.
I think he might from you.
Championship teams don't do that, though.
Nope.
No. So the Cowboys host Seattle Sunday, and they're last in the division, but just 2 games behind the Giants, which lead the division. Eric, thanks so much for joining us.
All the time.
Always fun.
Yep.
Dan Campbell is having fun. He has the Fins up on South Beach after a blowout win over Houston. But was Miami's win more about how bad the Texans are? That's next. Stick around.